Hello students, today's class we are going to study transformer coupled amplifier, the working, construction, working and characteristics of transformer coupled amplifier, and also the frequency response of transformer coupled amplifier, and advantages, disadvantages of transformer coupled amplifier, and also the applications. So we are studying the second chapter. The second chapter mainly dealing with the multi-stage amplifiers. So far we have studied the classification of amplifiers in the second chapter, and the need of multi-stage amplifier, and some important characteristics of multi-stage amplifier such as gain, bandwidth and frequency response of multi-stage amplifier in the previous class. So by today's class you will be able to know the complete construction, working and frequency response of transformer coupled amplifier. You know, in the multi-stage amplifier, the gain of individual stage, single stage amplifier is not sufficient when and also for proper impedance matching we will go for multi-stage amplifiers. So where the output of one stage is coupled to the input of the next stage using coupling devices like different couplings methods. So accordingly the amplifiers are classified into RC coupled amplifier, transformer coupled amplifier, direct coupled amplifier. In the previous topic we have studied the RC coupled amplifier, two-stage RC coupled amplifier. The main drawback of two-stage RC coupled amplifier is that it suffers from poor impedance matching. You know, the output impedance of RC coupled amplifier is very high, but whereas the load resistance is of like a loudspeaker is very small, of the order of few ohms, whereas the output resistance of the amplifier is of the order of few kilo ohms. So there is a impedance mismatching. So because of this maximum power is not being transferred from the output of the amplifier to the load. And also the RC coupled an amplifier, RC coupled amplifier, the input impedance is very high in general in amplifier, and the output resistance so in the RC coupled amplifier the effective load resistance gets reduced because the input impedance of an amplifier is low while its output impedance is very high. Each stage in the RC coupled amplifier, the input impedance is very low and the output impedance is high. So when they are coupled to make a multi-stage amplifier, so each stage the amplifier is going to offer a low input impedance and very high output impedance. So when they are coupled, such stages are coupled to make the multi-stage amplifier, the high output impedance of one stage is comes in parallel with the low input impedance of the next stage. when they are coupled to form a multi-stage amplifier, the high output impedance of one stage comes in shunt with the parallel with the low input impedance of the next stage. So therefore the effective load resistance gets reduced. So this may reduce the gain of the amplifier. When the effective, when a high resistance and a low resistance are in parallel, so the resultant resistance will be lesser than the lower one. So the effective load resistance gets reduced. This is called as loading effect. This problem can be overcome by using transformer coupled amplifier, that we can avoid the effect of loading using transformer coupled amplifier. In a transformer coupled amplifier, so individual stages of amplifiers are coupled using transformer. Let us see the construction of a transformer coupled amplifier. The transformer coupled amplifier, the output of one stage is connected to the input of the next stage through a transformer. Hence it is known as transformer coupled amplifier. See here, you can see the figure. So see here, the output of one stage is connected as input to the next stage. So here we have the first stage amplifier. Up to this, it is the first stage, and this is the second stage. So the output of the first stage, here we will get at the output of Q1, collector of Q1 will get the output, and that is across the primary winding, that is connected to the primary winding. And that output of first stage, which is appearing at the primary winding of the transformer, is connected to the input of the this is connected as at the input of the second stage through this transformer secondary winding. So here the output of one stage is connected to the input of the next stage through the transformer. Since the primary and secondary winding are mutual, primary winding transfers the signal to the secondary winding through mutual induction. So the coupling here is achieved using the transformer, hence it is known as transformer coupled amplifier. So coming to the construction, here the transformer, it connects the output of one stage as input of the next stage, and also it isolates the DC between the stages, DC isolation, because a transformer is a AC device, and also it provides impedance matching transfer. Here in the circuit, two-stage transformer coupled amplifier, the coupling transformer couples the AC output signal from the output of first stage to the input of the next stage through the transformer. Here we have, in the circuit we have two transformers. Transformer T1 is the coupling transformer. So this is a T1, we call it as T1, and this as T2. T1 acts as a coupling transformer because the output of the first stage, amplified output of the first stage amplifier is connected to the input of the second stage through this transformer T1, hence it is known as coupling transformer. It is, since it is coupling the amplified output of first stage as input of the second stage, so it is transformer T1 is called as coupling transformer. And the transformer T2, also known as output transformer, because the output of the two-stage amplifier is connected to the load, so the output of this transformer is connected to the load, hence it is known as the output transformer. So it is coupling the output signal of the two-stage amplifier to the load. And in the circuit we have the resistors. In the two stages we have the resistors. Let us see the function of each component in the circuit. The resistor R1 and R2 along with VCC, R1 and R2 in the two stages, first stage and second stage. This VCC, R1 and R2 provides the necessary biasing. So these are used to fix the base current IB. So actually using VCC, R1 and R2 we are going to fix the base voltage VB constant. We can write VB is equal to VCC into R2 by R1 plus R2. Since VCC, R1, R2 all are constants, VCC, R1, R2 all are constants, so VB is going to fix at certain value, constant at certain value, VB constant at certain value. So that is going to fix the IB constant at certain value. So when IB is constant, so we have IC which is equal to beta times of IB, that is also going to be constant. So that in such will fix this operating point. So the VCC, R1, R2 will provide the necessary biasing in the circuit, and RE, the emitter resistor, provides the stabilization. RE, the voltage which produced across RE, we call it as VE. The voltage which appears, voltage at RE, that we call it as VE. It acts as a negative feedback voltage. It offers negative feedback voltage and connected to the base voltage. So the voltage across RE, when current I flowing through the RE, that produces the voltage VE. This voltage VE connected to the base or to the input as a feedback voltage, as a negative feedback voltage. So already in the input we are fixing the VB which is constant using biasing circuit, and we can write the equation KVL to the input circuit. So that VB, which is the base voltage at the base of the input voltage, which is equal to VBE of the transistor plus VE. In each stage we can write the VB, the base voltage,
is equal to the VBE, voltage across the base emitter terminal, and also that is the sum of base emitter voltage plus the voltage across the emitter terminal. Since VB we are fixing constant using biasing circuit, and whenever this relation is very important relation that going to offer a negative feedback. So that is, see here, since VB is constant, that is fixed using the biasing circuit. So whenever there is an increase in the VE, so there is a corresponding decrease in the VB by the same amount, because the VB, the sum of VB plus V is going to be a constant. So suppose if V increases, then it is going to decrease the VB by the same amount, or suppose if V decreases, then it is going to increase the VB by the same amount. So that is going to offer opposite effect at the base, at the input circuit. So it is called as negative feedback. So this is used to stabilize the operating point. It is the operating point stabilization, nothing but the collector current, making collector current IC stable. Making IC stable is called as stabilization. So let us see how this IC gets stabilized. IC is stabled using the voltage across that RE, that how RE is going to stabilize the IC. Let us consider, if IC, let us assume the IC increases with the temperature. So you know the transistor is a current transistor is a temperature dependent device. So whenever the temperature increases, the reverse saturation current increases. In fact, it doubles for every 10 degree centigrade rise in temperature. So whenever there is an increase in the temperature, so the reverse saturation current increases, that going to increase the collector current. So when collector current increases, so the operating point shifts towards the saturation. Instead of in the middle of the DC load line, it moves slightly above the middle of the DC load line. So we have to bring back that collector current back to the middle of the DC load line. So when IC increases, IE, because the IE also increases, because IE is equal to IC plus IB. So when IC increasing, IE also increases. When IE increases, VE also increases. So see here how the flow. When IC increases, that is going to increase the IE. So when IE is increases, the VE increases. So when VE is increasing, VBE is decreasing. When VBE is decreasing, that IB decreases. When IB decreases, IC decreases. IC decreases. Why? Because IC is equal to beta times of. So when IB decreases, IC gets decreasing. So the increase in the collector current here, the increase in the collector current is compensated by decreasing the collector current by decreasing the VBE. So that the VE is going to have a negative effect at the input. So the increase in the collector current due to temperature is compensated by decrease in the VBE. Similarly, let us assume if IC is decreasing. If IC decreases, so the operating point shifts below the middle of the DC load line. Q point, IC is nothing but Q point, so the Q point shifts below the middle of the DC load line. When IC decreases, so you know IE decreases. When IE decreases, the VE decreases. And when VE decreases, VBE, so there is a corresponding increase in the VBE. So if VE decreases by 5 volts, there is a increase in the VBE by 5 volts. So like, because the sum of VE plus VBE is equal to a constant, VBB. So when decrease in the collector current, there is a decrease in the emitter current, so the emitter voltage also decreases. When emitter voltage decreases by some value, the same value of voltage, there is an increase in the VBE by the same value. So when VB increases, IB increases, so therefore IC increases. So the decrease in the collector current is compensated. Thus the Q point, the collector current, gets stabilized irrespective of variation in the due to temperature or device parameters. If there is a change in the collector current, that gets stabilized using this resistor RE. So that is going to provide a voltage, that is a negative feedback voltage, that is going to stabilize the operating point in the circuit. And here the Cin is the coupling capacitor, C is the emitter bypass capacitor. Cin couples the input signal to the base of the first stage amplifier, and C is the emitter bypass capacitor. The amplified AC signal flows through the bypass capacitor instead of flowing through the RE. If it flows through RE, the voltage gets dropped, voltage gets reduced, that will going to reduce the gain. So bypass capacitor is used across the RE to bypass the AC output signal. Now let us see the operation. The input signal Vin is applied, amplified by that, is applied to the base of the first stage amplifier using the coupling capacitor Cin. The first stage amplifier amplifies the input signal, and the amplified output signal appears at the collector of Q1, nothing but the primary winding of the coupling transformer, where the signal to be amplified, that is the input signal Vin, is connected to the base of the first stage amplifier using coupling capacitor, and the first stage amplifier amplifies the signal, and the amplified output appears at the collector of the Q1, nothing but the primary winding of the coupling transformer. So this amplified output signal is transferred to the secondary winding through mutual induction. Then the signal, secondary winding, the signal which transferred to the secondary winding is connected to the base of the second stage amplifier. So the second stage amplifier amplifies this signal further, and the amplified output appears at the collector of the transistor Q2, and this signal nothing but the primary winding of the output transformer. This signal transfers the amplified output of the second stage amplifier is transferred to the secondary winding through mutual induction. The output transformer connected in the collector circuit of the second stage amplifier transfers the amplified signal to the secondary winding of the output transformer. Then the secondary winding signal which is present in the secondary winding connected to the load, because it is output transformer. So like this, the transformer coupled amplifier will amplify the signal in the two stages. Here the main advantage is that the signal is being transferred from one stage to the next stage with impedance matching. Only the signal, AC signal, will transfer from one stage to the next stage and isolating the DC voltage, because the transformer is a pure AC voltage, AC device. Coming to the frequency response of a transformer coupled amplifier. So once again we'll see the operation of a transformer coupled amplifier. When AC signal is applied to the input of the, that is the base of the first transistor, then it gets amplified by the first stage amplifier and appears at the collector, and where the primary of the coupling transformer is connected. So the transformer here, the primary the transformer which is connected in the collector circuit of the first stage is nothing but a coupling transformer and used as a coupling device in this, and hence the voltage at the primary is transferred according to the turns ratio of the secondary winding of the transformer. So this transformer coupling provides good impedance matching between the stages of a amplifier. By simply adjusting the turns ratio of the primary and secondary winding, maximum signal gets transferred known as impedance matching. Coming to the frequency response of a transformer coupled amplifier. The frequency response of a transformer coupled amplifier so far we have studied the circuit of a two-stage transformer coupled amplifier construction and the purpose of each component in the circuit, that is circuit details, and the operation of the transformer coupled amplifier. Now we'll see the frequency response of a transformer coupled amplifier. Frequency response of transformer coupled amplifier. You know the reactance of the coil with respect to frequency, we have the relation XL is equal to 2 pi FL. so it is directly frequency is directly related to the inductive reactance. So when the frequency is increasing, the inductive reactance also gets increases. So the frequency response of a transformer coupled amplifier is the plot showing the variation of the gain with the frequency of the input signal. So in the low frequencies, the output voltage of a transformer coupled amplifier is equal to the product of the collector current and the reactance of the primary winding of the coupling transformer. The output voltage of a transformer coupled amplifier is the product of the collector current and the reactance of the primary winding of the coupling transformer. Since with increase in the frequency, the inductive reactance increases, so at low frequencies, within decrease in the frequency, the reactance gets decreases with the frequency, so the gain also decreases, because the voltage, output voltage, is the product of the reactance of the product of the collector current and the reactance of the primary winding of the transformer, and the reactance of the primary winding decreases with the frequency. Since in the low frequency, when the signal frequency is very low, the inductive reactance decreases. So therefore the output voltage, which is the product of the collector current and the inductive reactance, reduces. That will reduce the gain in the low frequency region. At high frequencies, again the voltage gain rolls off, decreases. Why? Because the capacitance between the turns of windings acts as a bypass capacitor. So within the winding, the air acts as a dielectric. Since the current flowing from one part of the coil to the other part, from a lower potential to a point of higher potential, point of higher potential to a point of lower potential. So the point with the high potential acts as a positive plate, and the point in the coil with a low voltage potential acts as a negative plate, and the air between these 2 points acts as a dielectric. So the capacitance between the turns of a winding acts as a bypass capacitor. Instead of this bypass capacitor reduces, so the current gets bypassed, so the signal gets bypassed, so the voltage decreases at high frequencies. Because of this, we call this capacitance is known as stray capacitance or inter-element capacitance effect. In the middle, that is the peak gain and flat response. It is due to the reactance of the inductance and distributed capacitance. Here the resonant frequency is defined as the frequency at which the resonant occurs is called as resonant frequency, where the inductive reactance and capacitive reactance gets equal and the reactance gets cancelled, so the circuit will completely act as a resistive instead of reactive circuit. So that frequency corresponding to the frequency corresponding to this where the reactance gets cancelled, inductive and capacitive reactance gets cancelled, and the circuit will access pure resistive network is called a resonant frequency FR. Here the transformer coupled amplifier, the frequency response is not flat when compared to the RC coupled amplifier. See, using the transformer coupling, we have an impedance, excellent impedance matching. We know the transformer, how the transformer will transfer the signal from the primary to the secondary. We have the relation voltage transformation, ratio of voltage transformation V1 by V2 is equal to N1 by N2, and current transformation is given by I1 by I2 is equal to N1 by V1 by V2 is equal to N1 by N2, and I1 by I2 is equal to N2 by N1. So therefore V1 we can write N1 by N2 into V2, and I1 is equal to N2 by N1 into I2. Substituting the V1 and I1, that is V1 by I1 is equal to, substituting V2 and I2 in the relations V1 and I1, we can write the equation for V1 by I1, which is equal to N1 by N2 whole square into V2 by I2. So V1 by I1 we can write as RL dash, and V2 by I2 we can write RL. So we can write RL dash is equal to N1 by N2 whole square into RL, or simply RL dash is equal to N square into RL, where N square is the turns ratio, which is N1 by N2. Where V1 by I1 is nothing but RL dash, effective input impedance, and V2 by I2 is the effective output impedance. Let us consider one example. If we want to match a 20 ohm speaker load to an amplifier, so the effective load may be 8 kilo ohms, then what is the turns ratio? So we have to adjust the turns ratio such that RL dash is given as 8 kilo ohms and the load is only 20 ohms. So that we can find, substituting, we can find the ratio N1 by N2 whole square, which is equal to RL dash by RL. So 8000 divided by 20 is the turns ratio. So simply adjusting the turns ratio N is equal to 20, we can have get the impedance matching. So this is the advantage of using transformer coupled amplifier, transformer as a coupling device between the two stages. So the output impedance of one stage is made equal to the input impedance of the second stage simply by adjusting the turns ratio. Here the output impedance of the first stage is RL dash is made equal to RL by simply adjusting the turns ratio N1 by N2 whole, that is N square. Coming to the advantages of transformer coupled amplifier. So here no signal power is lost in the collector or base resistors. because the primary resistance of the primary winding is almost negligible, so there is no loss in the collector circuit or base of the circuit, because the base of the secondary transformer is the secondary winding resistance of the transformer. So almost no loss in the collector and base circuits because the winding resistance is negligible. So it is going to offer excellent impedance matching, and the gain increases because of impedance matching. Maximum power will transfer with no loss, so the gain increases. And DC isolation, that is the biasing conditions of one stage will not affect the next stage, because the transformer will not allow the DC. So the DC isolation we can achieve using the transformer coupling. Here we can see how the signal gets the reflected voltage. C amplifier, the output. The output impedance of C amplifier here is of the order of few kilo ohms. But the reflected impedance is very high, that is made equal to the load by simply adjusting the turns ratio. The disadvantages are poor frequency response. Here the frequency response is not flat. The variation of the gain over wide range of frequency is not stable. The size of the circuit is quite big because the transformers are bulky and costly. So because we are using the transformer in the circuit, there is a hum, it is noisy. So because of this, it is not used to amplify the audio frequencies. Applications of the transformer coupled amplifier. The transformer coupled amplifier is used as a amplifying circuit in the audio frequency, for the audio frequency signals. A few range, that is the bandwidth, is restricted to few kilo ohms, and most importantly, it is used as a final stage amplifier in the multi-stage amplifiers. It is used as a final stage because of high gain and impedance matching property. So today's class we have discussed the transformer coupled amplifier, its construction, working, the frequency response of transformer coupled amplifier, and the characteristics of transformer coupled amplifier, impedance matching, and factors affecting the frequency response, advantages, disadvantages, and applications of transformer coupled amplifier. Some few quiz questions relating to this topic. the frequency response of transformer coupled amplifier is good, very good, or excellent, or poor. So the frequency response is not that good when comparing with RC coupled amplifier, so it is poor. The final stage of multi-amplifier uses RC coupling, transformer coupling, direct coupling, any of the above. So final stages in general will use transformer coupling amplifier. So answer is B. In a transistor amplifiers, the type of transformers used for impedance matching is step up transformer, step down transformer, N1 N2 same turns ratio, none of the above. So here the output impedance of the amplifier is in general it is large comparing with the load. So to make RL dash is made equal to RL, so the turns ratio N2 must be very high comparing with the N1, so it is a step down transformer. The transformer coupling is generally employed when the load impedance is large, very large, small, none of the above. So transformer coupling is generally employed when the load impedance is very small. So questions frequently coming in the examination on this topic are frequently asked questions. Draw the frequency response of transformer coupled amplifier and explain the construction and working of transformer coupled amplifier. Explain why the gain falls at high frequencies as well as at low frequencies. List the advantages and disadvantages of transformer coupled amplifier. List the applications of transformer coupled amplifier. We'll stop here today's class. Thank you.